all right. We got barely a news up in here. Got Unity has a new leader. Somebody being kicked out to the curve, you know what I'm saying? So let's check it out, shall we? I think it was already over.
Welcome back to the news, everybody. There's a hell of a lot to talk about today. Developers are industry-wide in pretty damn deep trouble because the layoffs are unrelenting. But today, it's not just the developers who are out because...
Yeah, a lot of people like from Xbox and all that, all over the place from gaming has been like laying off a lot of people. A lot. It's crazy.
The ex-EA and until very recently current CEO of Unity, John Riccitiello, is out of his role. Yes, Unity has a new leader, and all of this, of course, seems to be in response.
What I tell you, man, I'm like, he either gonna have to be gone or something, because that he fucked up. He fucked up the bag, the future, the layoffs. He fucked up everybody, man. He fucked the bag up. How would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I'm like, yes! You know, so I'm all over the place with that. I'm like, yeah. You dumb ass greedy ass son of a, I'm just saying, when you are a CEO and they got you on tape about we need players you can buy bullets or whatever for shooting in a shooting game, and you got to pay actual real money for that? Oh, hells no. I don't even know how you got in that goddamn position. That's what I want to know. That's the real, turn the switch on in your head. Like, how did a guy from EA, the most hated or stupidest same game every damn year roster ass, get another CEO job at a game engine company and be a part of that oh my God, it just doesn't make sense. You failed upward. He kind of failed upward, it's like, how you go from worst company to another good company, and then that CEO of that damn company that's doing well, like, you went from worst company to good company. How did you go up? How you go up the left, you should go down. If you fuck up at a job, you get fired. You don't go fired. You know what? I like this guy. He does shitty ass work. You know what he needs? You get him to be manager. Fuck yeah.
To the utter disaster that was them trying to change the terms of the deal on how they were handling pricing. But that's not all. There's good news for Phantom Liberty.
Doesn't make sense. That's why it's stupid. Doesn't make sense.
Base has surged by a whopping 211%.
Can't have smart people in the gaming industry, What the fuck?
Technically speaking, and you can get technically transformed by today's sponsor. Let's roll. Okay, let's get into things. John Riccitiello, after 9 years as CEO, is out. He is retiring as president, chief executive officer, chairman, and a member of the company's board, effective immediately.
Damn.
This is obviously after the disastrous rollout of the proposed runtime fee, a move that I think had a lot of game developers feeling rather like, gamers did during Riccitiello's time at Apple.
Yeah, because that didn't make any damn sense. You have a game engine, you have your damn game developers using your engine, and then you want to throw in a fucking fee in for some bullshit because you greedy ass son of a you think you that dude, man. You go, man. We got the game engine board, we got the Genshins, we got all these people, we got the mobiles, all them, we got all their money, they getting all their money from our engine, dog. You know what we need? We need to fucking tax their ass. We tax the shit out their ass even more, even the small ones. But they ain't got no money now. Fuck them motherfuckers. We gonna tax their ass.
Electronic Arts, where we did obviously see some rather rumbly business practices.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Riccitiello is the guy who talked about being 5 hours deep in battlefields and then charging you money for a reload. And while I don't think anybody seriously thought he was going to charge people, to reload their gun in battlefields, the point was very much that, like, oh yeah, you're in too deep, and now you're just being nickel and dimed. That's the way that those things made gamers feel, and exactly the runtime fee.
That's pretty much a good way to say it.
Developers feel that way too. Of course, he is the man who previously had led FIFA into the loot box era. The whole Project $10 thing, if you remember that, where a game purchased brand new, like you would be able to play that online. However, that's only because you used the code that came in the game. And if you bought a game secondhand, the code would already be used. So you then have to basically buy, like for $10, I suppose, a multiplayer license. And this is when the industry was trying to fight back on the pre-owned market, because with the pre-owned market, there's only one person who's making any money: the game retailer, right? You know, GameSpot, Game in the UK, they make money selling a pre-owned game. But as far as the developer or the publisher is concerned, they have absolutely nothing to do with that. They don't get any money. So, of course, this was that being done, but in a way that very directly made the consumer feel nickel and dimed, which is why people absolutely did not like it. So, those repeated cries for his exit have ended up, I suppose, working. We don't exactly know.
You say people didn't like it. There's more the game developers didn't like it, because they gonna be the ones that getting hurt more than the consumer, because it's on them, because it's Unity's engine. They're using Unity engine, and Unity is, hey, you gonna give us extra fee for this goddamn engine you're using, you know? So
know why he's gone, but he's thoroughly gone. Like, he is retiring in all of those different capacities.
He should never have been in the position in the first place.
He will remain in an advisory role just until they find a new permanent CEO. And speaking of CEOs, they do have an interim one. It's this guy, James Whitehurst. And in terms of his experience, right, he was a COO at Delta Airlines. Also, he was at Red Hat, which is an open source software developer. Then at IBM as an advisor and president. But he has some additional roles. These additional roles are, well, they're rather interesting. Yes, this is where it gets juicy. And where some of you may be now thinking, better the devil that we know. Because in particular, one of these that's relevant to Unity is his role at Silver Lake Group LLC, a global investment firm.
Oh, shit. I know. He's so... Yeah, this is definitely all up. See, he's pretty much there because Rich kind of fucked up the money bag. Yeah, boy. Has been appointed to Internet Legacy boardroom. Delta Airlines, really. Yep, IBM as advisor and president. So yeah, he's pretty much the executive manager.
As a special advisor. Yes, I'm sure he does a lot of special advising. Now, they are currently one of the largest shareholders of Unity, right? They directly help to finance the $1 billion in convertible notes from Unity for their purchase of the advertising and monetization company Iron Source in 2022. Now, when that Iron Source deal went down, man, a lot of devs were really worried. Didn't like the direction, but that's mostly a conversation that happened between developers. It didn't really spill out.
I say, this was hurting them. Isn't that the consumer? This is nothing to do with the consumer at all.
Obviously has. So you could say that this is some
people just want to play a good game. That's all about it.
Where Unity will go. Like, he's a special advisor to the people who funded that Iron Source deal, and ultimately that's it. Like, Riccatello was in a way sort of legacy from before that Iron Source deal. But if this is kind of like an example of the direction that Silver Lake wants Unity to go in, then you may actually just be left thinking, right, devil we knows better, which is a pretty crazy situation. So it's the end of this saga of the story, but it absolutely is not the end of the story.
No, it ain't.
And certainly other engines like Godot are going to be looking pretty damn enticing, at least for those developers who are, well, frankly, not too deep.
Yeah, I think what it was, like Unity, Unreal Engine, and like, I think another good engine is RE engine, really. But I don't think they it's like a public thing for people to play, game developers to use or whatever. So yeah,
because right now, like, we're making a game in Unity and we're sort of in too deep. We cannot afford the transition right now. But if I could just wave a wand and be on Godot, that's where I'd be. When it comes to long range planning, I certainly have some questions.
He's like
our next
he's like that other gamer dev that they way too in deep into their process or near the end of the game finishing in Unity, and dude's like, I'm switching up soon as this game is done. We out of here. Fuck Unity. I like, man, just make your game real quick, and then you gotta learn the process all over again with another engine. Because
then is really, really sad, actually. Telltale Games have laid off a significant number of their staff, and this happened in early September, with basically nobody really knowing. Now, what happened here is that Telltale kind of went totally closed, right? The whole thing went tits up in 2018. Then the company reformed in 2019 with most of the same licenses. And of course, that has a lot of people really wanting, say, The Wolf Among Us 2. Now, this move with the layoffs would have actually happened before the full release of all episodes of the most recent Telltale game, which was developed by Deck 9, called, well, The Expanse, a Telltale series. Of course, The Expanse.
Yeah, because Telltale did like pretty good at the beginning, in my opinion, but I just find their games to be not like, because I like action games. A good story is nice though, like a really good story, but I prefer to be in it, you know, like, you know, give me that Dark Souls, or give me some, you know, Naraka or something. Give me something, you know, Fight for New York or something, you know. I want to be in the action. Maybe get a little bit of story in there, but give me into that action,
love
you know?
The books, love
more
the
about
show,
that action,
big fan of
balls.
the game. So it's really sad that ultimately it doesn't seem to have went that well. Like, it got perfectly reasonable reviews, but in terms of sales, I think this is evidence that the numbers were not looking good. Now, there are some things to note here. Some of them are just really sad. Like, as an example, the new version of Telltale rehired, or at least brought on as consultants, people who worked at the old Telltale. And that kind of leads to a sad example of, say,
Nothing. Here's new versions. Oh, okay.
an employee who was at the company, then rejoined the company to...
Really? Hold up. Former employees rejoined the work. So they left and came back? What? Wow. Yeah.
Work on The Wolf Among Us 2, who has now been laid off from the same company twice, which is quite rough. Now, the Expanse game was actually worked on by two studios, Deck 9 and Telltale. But it's not just Telltale who have had layoffs. Deck 9 also had layoffs, seemingly one of those things where primary production had ended and then they trimmed down again. But now, Telltale
like
don't seem to be going anywhere soon. This is what they've said to GameIndustry.biz. We do not take this action lightly, and our commitment to storytelling and finding new ways to do so remains the same. And they say they're, you know, grateful to everybody in the journey and so on and so forth. What's interesting, though, is they've clarified that all of their in-production projects are still in production. Now, in terms of IP, there are some question marks amongst The Wolf Among Us. The developer who left essentially said that on The Wolf Among Us, they're not really able to say stuff because of NDA. So who exactly knows there? The thing is, though, it appears that this is not because of a distinct, like, big-time lack of money, because they are still having other things go on. As an example, there's a company in the UK that does, basically, it's like touch-based video tech, and they acquired them in September. All right, so they acquired this company last month. But
last month, really?
also in September, they had layoffs, which ultimately makes me think that this is the cold calculus, and that's just the way that the numbers have came out. I don't know if this means that they are just not projecting as good, like, long-term revenue from the Expanse. It could be like the Expanse falling.
Like I said, they need to evolve the formula. That's pretty much why stuff happens with any game. Really, if you stay stuck in it for a long time, it can work for a long time. Like, you know, you X Dynasty Warriors or Madden game, but but usually sport games are usually the same day in, day out. But if you can change them up, people will flock to it, you know?
Low average.
That's why NFL 2K or NBA 2K was a thing.
Maybe they are generally relying on outsourcing for some of their future games, but whatever's happened, they clearly don't have enough money that they feel comfortable sustaining that higher burn rate. So, yeah, ultimately, man, it's kind of rough. And this is in the context of, I mean, I feel like almost every time I sit down to do some video work, there's been another round of layoffs somewhere to talk about, which, yeah, it's a big industry, but just about everybody is finding that there is a contraction, that things are getting tight, and finding jobs is tricky. In a recent roundup episode, actually, we talked about the humongous drop in VC based funding for the games industry, and you can just see, you know, the quarters roll on, and then it goes from like 2-point-something billion to like 700 million or something like that. Absolutely plummets. Rough. And with all this greatness going on, we've got to talk about unions that are going,
because of course that also goes with society too, because when a lot of stuff is expensive, you ain't got no time to be gaming or buying up games, because games are damn near $70 now. Some of them, you know. And then you got freaking like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a game and stuff and all that, and you get great reviews. Yeah, but nobody gonna be buying your game when society goddamn prices are so goddamn expensive all over the place. Well,
on in Europe,
game
because
developers.
over in Sweden, 100 developers at Avalanche Studios Group, who are the Just Cause people, not the Hogwarts Legacy people, they have joined up with one of the Swedish trade unions. So that's fairly interesting. It actually represents 1/5 of developers at the company. They're already essentially working on negotiating better conditions. Now, this will be, for a lot of our American viewers, a very different, cultural and regulatory framework, right? And also perhaps even different to some of, other parts of Western Europe. Sweden's union infrastructure allegedly has, right, 70% involvement from the workforce across the country. So I suppose if you're watching this in the States, like, this is going to be a radically different thing. Indeed, if you're watching this in the UK, probably very different thing. Quite interesting. But as a result of this, then, no surprise that between Avalanche and the union, it's actually a rather positive mood. There's not some sort of big fight thing like you would see in the sort of union busting statements that you might get across, like, say, American companies. Of course, we've talked about that with say allegations of reprisals and stuff.
I mean, that's literally why a lot of game developers sometimes get burned out or get that overtime thing going, and they always like, we gotta get in crunch. They need crunch time before this game comes out, and the higher ups wants them to get that game out of process, and you end up with a CD Projekt Red type bullshit when they just try to expand and put their games out to other places, and there's no game management with the game, and it comes out and the company is like, oh, we was running thin, the higher ups like, we want that game out now, do that shit right, and they fucked it, they fucked up the bag, they messed it up. You fucked it up. But this one,
at Raven
unions can fix that.
Right?
They don't have to have that problem.
This is one that does follow up a little bit of a past drama, actually, because they essentially had a bunch of collective action going on at the company from staff in November of last year. And basically what happened is a lot of criticism over the company hiring an individual for a high-level position in spite of public accusations of inappropriate behavior. Ultimately, the company did issue a public apology to its staff on that. So I suppose you can sort of see the trend line of progress going in a good direction there. We also see similar going on with CD Projekt.
It has a standard. That's what it is. It's not doing no Blizzard and Bobby Kotick thing, You got all these people under Bobby Kotick doing some shady stuff underneath the company, and it's on Bobby watch. So what it was, the Bill Cosby suit or some other crap like that. I heard. I was like, what the hell? Grooming ladies or whatever, allegedly or whatever. I was like, what the hell?
Red.
Wow.
Basically, after a round of layoffs in July, staff don't necessarily want to take that sort of thing anymore. So they have formed the Polish Game Dev Workers Union in response to layoffs at the company, and they're going to be building up their management structure in the coming weeks. Of course, those layoffs felt pretty rough. I mean, you had Phantom Liberty coming out, and seemingly they had a bunch of money lined up to go and make the next Witcher game, the next Cyberpunk game, all that stuff. And of course, now Phantom Liberties came out to absolutely incredible reviews. What they say in their statement to IGN, while employees are the ones creating value in this arrangement, they lack any decision power in company structure related matters. That is why we need to organize to enter those situations on equal footing. As for CD Projekt Red, they basically were like, yes, we confirm receipt of message. We will act within compliance, of our legal obligations, right? They then do go on to talk about their own forms of internal employee representation. It's called Red Team Representatives, who are people in the company who are democratically elected and are independent of the management board. And CD Projekt Red,
again, like I said, it's probably a good thing.
They worked with that over the last while. They hope to continue to be able to do so. But that being said, if you're to think about vibes, you're to think about things from perhaps the employee's position, there is this statement from Marcin Nowinski, right? And this is definitely back a few years, but he said, that's what we do. It's true we work a lot of overtime, and when people join the company, we warn them that it's really not easy. Releasing a game is every time as hard as if we were sending people to Mars. Now remember, this is him speaking quite a bit prior to the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. So certainly...
Again, we talking about crunch time. We talking about do all this little extra stuff behind the scenes. You take this to this department. You go over here to this department. You ain't got no standard barrier of what to do, and you running thin. But your higher ups is just like, grind, damn it, crunch, get that game out, goddamn, I don't give a fuck.
He may say to people bringing this up that he has learned lessons, and that this mindset, well, is obviously one of the things that led to Cyberpunk launching in the way that it did. He says, though, but if there are unions, what do we do? Are we not taking off anymore? Unions were originally created to protect low-paid workers, right? These guys are not low-paid workers. They are extremely skilled professionals, and
so
I suppose the extremely skilled professionals will then say that means that we shouldn't be treated in a disposable fashion. I suppose the big question is, what would Marston say now in 2023 after 5 years have passed and perhaps he's had the opportunity to self-reflect?
Because I think Cyberpunk is done. Like they're done. They finished up with Phantom Liberty, so they on the next Cyberpunk, and you know, I think they make another The Witcher, right? So they gonna be probably doing that. So yeah. And then you're going to have the union stuff, so you have to have all this extra craziness going on with the low pay and workers and other, you know, shit just going and blowing up people and hiring, I don't know, what do you say, fucking sexual assaulters or something, whatever the hell, towards women, that shit. So, yeah.
How things did not go well for them after 2018. Next, though, we've got more CD Projekt Red news. This is really fascinating because apparently, right, the post-launch support of Cyberpunk 2077 cost $120 million. That is the budget of like multiple large video games. That's kind of crazy. Apparently what this is,
and studios.
40 to use US numbers.
Movie studios.
40 mil in the base game for next-gen update prep, $62.3 million to make Phantom Liberty, $22 million for the marketing of Phantom Liberty. Now, the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, they had spent $174 million on the base version of Cyberpunk and $142 million on marketing the game. So, you know, add those two numbers together, then add $120 million to that.
$22 million.
Then
for marketing.
think, I suppose, about purchasing
But hey, if your game is good.
You know, imagine if you're spending that amount of money on Californian offices and Californian developers versus offices in Poland, right? You know, where you're different economy, different currency, all that jazz. You do just wonder how much it would cost for a large studio in California to make a game the size of Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty. Honestly, it's eye-watering stuff. As for Phantom Liberty, I think they'll be pretty happy with it, though, because not only, I imagine, is it leading to humongous sales of the base game and a lot of people jumping back in, it itself has already sold 3 million copies in it.
Yeah, because Cyberpunk, when I bought Cyberpunk, it was not a bad game, like, per se. It was like, it was janky as fuck. It had some fucking huge ass problems. But overall, the game, the game was so silly to me. You know, it was literally like, it was kind of like, what was it? It was kind of like UFC, where how people would just show UFC clips and see how it was janky at the beginning of all, when people were fighting. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, here we go. I found one. Yeah, shout out to MMA Games for this one. They had shit like this. At this sort of janky in Cyberpunk. At the beginning, you do like a reloading and then your gun disappears, or you move and you're like, what the hell is going on with the curve to the hell going all over the place? Like, what the hell is up with this? And just fucking embobulated, what the hell? Exploded, what the hell? It's going wild and shit. People just fighting, doing all kind of crazy, doing this stuff. What the? This stuff just be wild. Yes, that's what Cyberpunk kind of reminded me of when it came out at the beginning. It was kind of like this. It's just like, what the fuck? What the hell just happened? I picked up a weapon and it disappeared. What the fuck? Yeah, but anyway, back to that.
first week.
Man.
That is actually not even counting bundled copies or just new sales of Cyberpunk 2077. So it's well on its way to recouping those costs, and I think now people are overall looking at this as an incredible overall video game package. If you take a look at, say, the long tail of sales for Witcher 3, I mean,
the story was not bad. It was simple. It's kind of, you know, if you play story games before, you kind of know where the story kind of leading up to, but the action is so good, you know. The action, the gunplay feels good in your hands. You know, you pick up a shotgun, you bam, you see the blood, you see all the parts go off somebody's face and stuff. Like, yeah, shit is amazing.
Game just sold forever. I wholly expect the same thing to happen for Cyberpunk 2077, so they can probably be happy. Now then, I did tease you at the start of this video of the 211% surge in players. Now, what I didn't tell you, and why I was having a little bit of fun with it, is that that's from a low point average one day a few days ago of 18 concurrent players in Steam to like 50 or 60 players, something like that. But what has happened is 60 FPS mode, and that's meant that everybody has checked up Steam charts for the game and said, oh my god, there's like 50 people playing Redfall on PC. That's crazy. Now, it's not just for PC. This has been paired with a performance mode for the Xbox Series X and S, as well as a whole bunch of other requested features after 6 months.
Yeah, we're going to end it right there though, but yeah, let's talk about Unity. So yeah, the other stuff was kind of interesting too with the Telltale stuff. So I want to listen to that. But yeah, you can check out the video of Babylon news. So yeah, check out the rest of that if y'all want to watch the rest of that. But yeah, man, Unity changed in the leader. CEO steps down. Yeah, man. Yeah, calling for urgency. This is so good. This is so fucking good right here. Calling for the herd. Get him. None shall pass. We shall have recolted. You will now kneel before us. Anyway, man, this is so good though. Unity, they messed up the bag, man. This is kind of like the pink sauce situation, man. You know, you fucked it up. Oh man, Ricochet is stepping down. It was effective immediately. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm stepping down. It's like, oh, you stepping down? All right, fuck it, let's done. Just do it right now. Woo. Usually sometimes they be like, I'm gonna be here for a little bit, take my time, maybe a week. Nope. As soon as I'm retired, but you done. All right, fuck it, let's go. He out immediately, effective immediately. Let's go. Hire new somebody, internal leadership. Let's go. Yeah, boy. But yeah, man. Kudos to people kudos to game developers that said, you know what, screw Unity. You know, they ain't making it no more, or not being part of that, be a part of that nonsense. Because they still could do that again. Yeah, it's just, you know, they let the leadership dude take the blame, even though the investors probably wanted that to begin with, you know. And then they saw the backlash, and the advisors were like, oh, no, we can't do that now, fuck. Ah, shit. And dude's like, yeah, we had to step down, dog. Like, shit. You know? You probably like, shit, I stepped down. Yeah, man, you got to go, man. We fucked up. Yeah, all right, man. I'll take the blame. All right, cool, man. You step up. All right, we got new leadership now. You know? And probably had to do something like that, probably. But anyway. There we go. Unity's got a new leader now. Good shit, Baylor. I said that right? I don't know. Anyway, have a good one. Legendary out. To the next video.